Heyo, I know you're probably on the edge of your seat, waiting for part two of what we began yesterday about chunking. I am so sorry to be keeping you waiting. My apologies, it is my bad, and I just so appreciative that you're still here with us. That one odd viewer. I'm kidding. There's probably even no one viewing this. But I'm still going to talk as if someone's actually viewing this and make every word count. Actually, it's not even just about the words, even though words do matter. But then at the end of the day, I also hope that you can experience what I am trying to communicate with you. And that's something beyond the words. Does that not make sense? Great. Let's get started with chunking. As you remember yesterday, we were talking about the two components. Scratch that. Did I say two? I meant to say three. Three components of a chunk, of forming a chunk. When you form a chunk, you can perform your action, you can remember the material, just like what I'm doing in this video is actually a great example, because initially I was still trying to learn my way, get my way around explaining chunking, and now I feel a little bit more comfortable with talking about chunking. Even though the whole sciencey thing behind it is still kind of mushy. I don't really know how to put it into words. But I think you're getting the gist of it, aren't you? Just pretend that you are. Just pretend. Just nod your head. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for being so kind and so nice to me. Wow, I'm a little overwhelmed with your kindness. Let's stop playing. I'm kidding. Why not? Why not play? Well, because I made an agreement to try to make this a little bit more structured, and that is part of the goal. And now it sounds like I'm ranting, but then at the same time, I'm just really enjoying this. I'm enjoying your presence. I'm enjoying speaking to you, but at the same time, I know I want to deliver some value and share with you something I've been learning about learning. Yes, specifically chunking. So chunks, when you have them down, when you form a chunk, whether it be a subject you're trying to master, whether it's a skill set or something you're trying to execute, you can do it in an effective manner. And that is why we've been learning about how to form chunks. And yesterday we talked about the big A, attention, for our UP acronym, UP, A-U-P, which reminds you of optimization, which is what we should be doing to optimize the resources that we've been given to make that positive impact. What is that positive impact? Maybe we'll talk about that at a later time. But now, let us first talk about the other parts to AUP. Yesterday we talked about attention. Watch that video if you want or not. Hopefully you're paying attention now, because that's a big part of forming your chunks. And now let's talk about U and P. Understanding. U stands for understanding. When you really dive deep and you want to form a chunk and have solid understanding of any material you're trying to learn, you need to have understanding. Know this, that you can put something in your short-term memory or your working memory by brute repetition and what is it called? Remote or brute? Brute repetition, is that what it's called? I think you know what I'm saying at this point. So you can do it, but you're repeating a number, a phone number 100 times. But do you know how I still remember my student number to this day? Even though it's not like I've graduated for a long time, but point being, I still remember my student number because there's a way that I make meaning out of those numbers. Therefore, I can still remember that. So you want to understand it. And by understanding, here are a few tips for you to really understand the material that you're learning. Engage. We talked about that. And then ways to engage is by analyzing. And by analyzing, I mean make observations of what's going on, really notice, ask the what is happening here, what does that mean, the how questions, how does this relate to this, how does this lead to that conclusion, how this concept, idea, subject that I'm learning relates to something else that I'm learning? How is it related? Make connections and ask why. Why does it work this way? Like why that timer goes on so quickly without me realizing it. Maybe because we've been enjoying ourselves here a little bit too much and now I need to get going. So I hope you've enjoyed a good time because I surely did. And if there's anything you took away, I encourage you to think about really understanding what you're doing. I hope you're understanding what we're doing here. We're trying to form chunks. Up, AUP, attention. And today we talked about understanding. And we will save the P for tomorrow. If you are so kind and don't know what other word I'm going to say, but if you come back tomorrow, we'll talk about the P and learning the AUP and forming a chunk. Very important part. See you tomorrow. God willing.